Hello and welcome back to the Academic Society. It is Toy in here and I'm excited to share this video. A long time ago, I asked the grad students in my Facebook group, what are some things that you wish you knew about grad school before you started? And they gave me a list of 10 things that I'm going to share with you today. So here are 10 things that grad students wish they knew about grad school before they started grad school. If you're interested, keep watching this video. So I'm Toyin. I'm the founder of the Academic Society. I got my PhD in math and landed my dream job as a lecturer at a university. And I also create these videos for grad students and academics to help with time management, productivity, accountability, as well as sharing my academic lifestyle. So let's get into those 10 things. All right, so again, these are responses from actual grad students, like current grad students right now. So number one, someone said, all of the coffee is not necessarily the right amount of coffee. Can anyone relate? I actually am not a coffee drinker, but I thought that was very funny to me. All the coffee is not necessarily the right amount of coffee. And I think this person is hinting at sleep is what you need. All right, number two, the transition from undergrad to grad school is going to be harder than you think, especially when it comes to time management. It's easy to think in undergrad, like, I've always been so great at studying, I've always been so great at time management and getting my work done. And when I go to grad school, I'm going to be focused on the things that I actually care about and taking classes that I actually enjoy. So of course I'm going to be able to manage my time because I'm going to want to do all of this stuff. But that typically leads to burnout. If your organization is not as great as it should be, time management can be a struggle for you. So I do agree that the transition from undergrad to grad school is not as easy as one may think. Number three, imposter syndrome will have you thinking that you're the only one struggling. It's so easy to think that you're the only one who is less prepared. You didn't go to a prestigious undergrad, and so it feels like you're the only one. But I will tell you, every single person in grad school experiences imposter syndrome, so you are not alone. And so that leads me to number four. More people are struggling with imposter syndrome than you think. So it's not just based on how prepared you feel for grad school, how prestigious your undergrad was, if you had research experience, or if you were in the workforce before so you have greater context for what you're studying. All of those things I listed are qualities of completely different grad students. So it's the fact that everyone's past experience is completely different. So it feels like you're the only one who's struggling, but everyone is struggling in different ways because everyone is so different. Everyone has completely different backgrounds in grad school. All right, number five, you are not alone. Grad school can feel like an isolating experience, especially if your other friends from like high school and undergrad are not also in grad school at the same time as you. So it can feel like you're the only one stuck inside all day, every day, studying, burning out, and all of that. But trust me, you are not the only one. I have a community of over 3,000 grad students who will tell you that you are not the only one. So if you're feeling lonely and isolated in grad school, definitely join my Facebook group, the Academic Society for Grad Students. Number six, burnout hits hard. And that is so true. Like when you first start grad school, you're so excited. I remember as soon as I got an assignment, I would come home, I would sit on my floor in my living room, and I would get to work on my assignments the day that they were given. But keeping that up for the whole semester definitely led to burnout. And it took, like, I feel like for a month of the first month of grad school, it's fine. But then you start getting grades that you don't think you deserve. You start not realizing maybe I'm not understanding what I should be understanding, and like that failure starts to come in and it causes you to maybe want to work harder, but then you're not seeing the results of your effort and it causes you to procrastinate and burnout. I talk about the procrastination burnout cycle all the time. So yeah, burnout will happen and it can hit hard. Number seven, you will not have the structure that you had in undergrad. This is true, and I know this as someone who teaches undergraduate students. I scaffold so much more for my undergraduates. I remind them of deadlines so many times, even though they still forget. But I do so much more for my undergraduates, especially my freshmen, because I know this is a transition for them. In grad school, training wheels are off. You actually have to come up with a structure for yourself because a lot of times you may not have class for like days, and you may not have an assignment for months, maybe until the end of the semester. And so it's up to you to actually take the initiative and get the work done and create the structure for yourself, which brings me to my next point. Number 8, it will take initiative to get your work done. So I have a video on being a self-starter in grad school, and it's so important. You're gonna have to be able to be a self-starter and not have someone on your back forcing you to get things done. You gotta have the initiative. Number 9, your time management skills will be greatly challenged. So true, because you will have a lot of responsibilities. You'll have your coursework, you'll have your research, you'll have seminars, you may be a TA, you may do tutoring, you may have an on-campus job, you may have an off-campus job, you may have to grade and be a grader. And that is a lot going on when you're in a completely new environment. And so it kind of takes time to realize, figure out your new structure and figure out how to manage time. You may have intuitively been able to manage your time in the past, but you actually need to sit down and think about what your overall goal is and allot time to different tasks accordingly, because not everything will have the same level of impact on your grad school experience. So you want to spend the most of your time on the things that are most important and less time on the things that are less important. Not everything should have equal weight. And finally, number 10, being compatible with your advisor is super important, right? You don't want to choose wrong, but if you choose wrong, it's not the end of the world. There are plenty of grad students who have made the transition and switched advisors and have had a better experience because of it, right? So choosing an advisor that you work well with, who meshes with your personality, is actually really important. So what do you think about those 10 things? So if you're a current graduate student, do you agree? And do you have any other things that you wish you knew before you started grad school? Let us know in the comments. And if you're starting grad school soon, you found this video at the perfect time. So I actually wrote a book to help you with all of this. So my book is called #GRADBOSS, a grad school survival guide. And it really is a book that I wish that I had before I started grad school. And it's also for current grad students too. So if you've already started grad school, it's not too late to read this book. There is so much value in it for you as well. So #GRADBOSS, a grad school survival guide, the book that I wrote, it is jam-packed with practical tips, tricks, and templates that I use to survive graduate school. And all of these things that are in the book, they can be implemented right now. So this is an action-taking book. It requires you to actually put in the work that is talked about in the book. All right, and so the best news is you can have complete confidence that this book is actually going to be valuable to you and actually be relevant to you, because as I was writing the book, I asked the grad students in my group, okay, I'm writing a grad school survival guide. What things do you think should be covered in this grad school survival guide? And they gave me a list of 10 things, and guess what? They became my 10 chapters in the book. All right, so here's what's inside of #GradBoss. Number 1, I share behind the scenes of how I survived getting a PhD in mathematics. Number 2, if you know anything about me, I am super efficient and I am like a master of time management. So I'm sharing all of my time management tricks, tips, and secrets that you can implement while you're in grad school. All right, chapter 3 is all the hidden benefits of accountability. So accountability is one of those things where it seems like, oh, I got this on my own, but there are some actual benefits that really separate grad students who struggle in their first semester of grad school and grad students who don't struggle as much in their first semester of grad school. So I call them hidden secrets of accountability. All right, chapter 4 is all about friendships. So in that chapter, I share 9 practical ways for you to make friends in grad school, because isolation can happen and I don't want it to happen to you. All right, chapter 5 is about productivity. So I'm sharing the ultimate guide for you to be productive, your most productive self in grad school. Chapter 6, all about imposter syndrome. So I don't know if we can really get rid of and eliminate imposter syndrome altogether, but chapter 6 is all about how to reduce your imposter syndrome, especially the effects that imposter syndrome have on your grad school experience. Chapter 7 is all about how to choose your research advisor and how to choose one that will be compatible for you. And so I even share emails that I sent to my potential research advisors. All right, chapter 8 is all about how to maximize your meetings, because I used to be really nervous about meeting with my advisor. I didn't want him to think that I was slacking, procrastinating, when I was just kind of confused and didn't know what to do. So I have a process and a step-by-step on how I ran my meetings with my advisor that I really believe was beneficial for both of us and our relationship. Chapter 9, all about work-life balance and how that's kind of a myth. So I'm actually sharing 2 myths about work-life balance in that chapter that I think will be super helpful and kind of release some pressure that you may be putting on yourself. And then finally, chapter 10 is all about how to create that productive weekly schedule and a structure for yourself that you can follow every single week that's still flexible, and one that includes me time, because we can't forget self-care and we can't forget our mental health. And that's not all that's in the book. Those are just highlights. I also share actual grad student stories that students have shared about how they're navigating having like romantic relationships while being in grad school. Also, there are worksheets and templates that you can use to take actionable steps during your whole grad school experience. All right, so if that sounds wonderful, let me tell you how you can get the book. So the book is available for purchase on Amazon for $20, or you can get the ebook from my website and download that for only $10. I will put a link in the description of this video. All right, so if you wanna be a grad boss, a hashtag grad boss, and not only survive in grad school, but thrive in grad school, definitely check out my book. I wrote it just for you. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. Have a wonderful day and best wishes in your grad school experience. Bye.